must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Today, Kenya is faced with a dilemma. A dilemma caused by succession politics of 2022. A country beaten by forces of peace, unity, against forces of impunity, bad politics, and tribal politics. The good forces of peace, unity, national reconciliation, led by President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, want to live a united, prosperous, one person, one nation, one country called Kenya. The bad forces led by Deputy President William Ruto want to live a divided, broken, damaged, dismembered Kenya without unity or purpose. Kenya today stands at cliffhanger politics. A cliffhanger politics of Machiavellian nature, where at night we praise the devils. During the daytime, we praise the leaders. We go back at night, damage the leadership. That's where Kenya is today. Whichever divide you are, there is only one way out. One way out of this quagmire is to stick to a redemption strategy. Any conflict resolution expert on this panel, like Professor Onyari, will tell you the only way out to save this nation from sinking to the another chaos is to bring out the 9 points of the BBI. All of you know the 9 points of BBI. They touch national ethos, national bad elections. It is a cocktail of disaster that the two leaders saw that the four made them to shake hands and to bring it to the table. That for Kenya to conduct another election in this country without cleaning the national electoral mechanisms, the disaster will be worse than it was before. That for Kenya to go without national healing, reconciliation, accountability, restitution, reparation, truth-telling, forgiveness, we are staring at a disaster if we don't do a reconciliation now and never. It is now and never. Embarking on an early campaign has brought us to where we are. President Uhuru Kenyatta told people to concentrate on nation building. We abandoned the nation building ventures. We have gone on personal crusade ventures. We have gone on the same path where we believe we glorify corruption and glorify many things that are not glorifiable. It is sad, therefore, for my people of Kenya. It is also a call to the people of Kenya. Either they choose to go with the redemption strategy or they perish. The choice remains the choice of the people of Kenya. If you want to go with a redemption strategy of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta of uniting this nation, that so be it. If you want to go with obsession of 2022 politics, even when there is no referee, and even when there is no competitor, yet the choice is yours. But at the end of the day, the citizens of this country are tired. If you don't see the fatigue that has come amongst the citizens who are being used as wheelbarrow pushers, who are being used as machines that will break in a day and you don't have any spare part to repair it, but it was done for PR, it is up to you. Do you empower people to push a wheelbarrow, or you empower people with knowledge? During this COVID-19, Rwanda, as a country that was besieged by the same disease that we see here, the disease of a creation of a hustler versus a dynasty. It is not different from the disease of a Tutsi versus a Hutu. You are not seeing what I'm seeing. Oh ye Kenyans, believe me, believe in me. You are not seeing what I'm seeing. You have created a narrative of a hustler versus a dynasty. It is like a Tutsi versus a Hutu versus a Tutsi. Look ye ahead. Look ye ahead in the horizon and see what is coming in 2022. It will be the battle of those that you want to eliminate against those who will be defending themselves. If you don't take my notes here, I will carry my dust. As the Bible said, go away with my dust. Because I see, from my vision, I can see we are on a wrong path. We have about to cross the red line. We are creating sections. We are fragmenting a state. We are dismembering a state. We are creating hurtling. Our train is hurtling towards one word. And that one word is conflict. That one word, my panel, is conflict. We better stop the train hurtling towards conflict and stop it now. Thank you.
A very good morning to you. and glad that you found time to join us today. Thank you very much. My name is Miriam Ogutu. We had an earlier show where we were looking at the news-making headlines across the country, and we also got to see what is happening, especially with our governor here in Nairobi and other, important news that are our interest to Kenyans. All right, and also mention a bit of BBI. So we shall continue the BBI, news or story as we had earlier on mentioned. So right now we're just going to turn our attention and look at some of the things that are being said about the BBI. Others are not even in the BBI or have been misinterpreted, especially with our political class there, and a lot of Kenyans are being told things that sometimes when you look at, because we do have the report, a lot of Kenyans perhaps have not had an opportunity to read this BBI, but the things that are being told out there might not really be even be in the BBI. So we are going to look at some of the things there. And joining me this morning is Douglas Kirimi from Meru County. Douglas, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Nice to have you on the show today. So we saw yesterday your governor there has closed down some of the offices there at the county because of the spread of COVID-19. Those rallies really did a mighty work there in Meru.
Yes, please.
I'm saying I saw your governor closing down some of the offices, public offices there because of COVID-19 cases. And I'm saying, does it have to do with the heightened political activities that we saw, especially in the Mount Kenya region, and now you've seen the numbers go up and a lot of people now contracting COVID-19, of course, in other parts of the country as well?
Yes, 90% is about the heightened political activities. Remember, Meru was at the center of the activities in the past few months and in recent weeks. And remember also the governor is to blame too, because he went on and declared Meru COVID-19 free. And he went on record and said Meru has no COVID-19, is a scam. And when the governor went on and declared that, people became relaxed. And remember, in Meru town, that's where North Imend sub-county is situated, where the county headquarters are, and that is the capital of the county. And that's where most of the people across the 9 constituencies in Meru go on and do their businesses and all that. So part 3 is about the relaxed measures, the containment measures that were put in place, and also the political activities. People would go to political meetings without mask and all that.
All right.
And there were no social distancing and all that. I wish a quick recovery to those people that are suffering COVID-19, and may God rest the souls of those who have departed, especially the doctor from Meru Level 5, Dr. Faith, who is also our friend in this.
All right, very well. And of course, it's not just in Meru and the central Kenya region, but also in other parts of the country. We've seen the rise of COVID-19 cases, and we shall continue to urge Kenyans to continue doing the right thing. For those who still think this is a joke, COVID-19 is no joke, and so many families have been affected, losing loved ones, paying huge medical bills. Others are still in hospital right now. Wear your masks, social distance, wash your hands, sanitize if you can. Very simple. Very simple measures.
Miriam.
Yes.
Our leaders should take responsibility for what is happening, because yesterday we saw the Meru senator, who is also rumored to be sick in hospital under COVID-19. He's been hosting people in his home in all over the place and across the county, and talking about the COVID-19 scam and also a lot of things. His brother succumbed to the disease, may his soul rest in peace. And also there are many people in Meru whose deaths I know cannot be put on record, like the senator was saying. People should pray for their family. There are so many people, young, old, poor, who have died because of the recklessness of our leaders. They have gone ahead to do meetings despite the president putting a caveat on the meetings and everything. And especially here in Meru, we cannot have people come here, do fundraisings and all that. Arambes can wait. COVID-19 is is a medical emergency that has come into our county and our country at large. Leaders should take responsibility and lead the people in the right direction. So, Miriam, we calling our leaders, especially those that are moving around talking about how BBI BBI is being progressed despite COVID, and also calling COVID, has come to take responsibility for all the things that they have done, especially here in Meru. As a people, we are so disgusted by our leaders and their recklessness.
All right. Very well, and I'm sure a lot of Kenyans are in other parts of the country, and even as those meetings continue there, we know there are new measures that the government introduced. So if you must have a public meeting, we know the BBI team will be having one of those, and you've seen also the Deputy President has been hosting a guest in his home there in Karen. But I love that the other day I saw him wearing a mask, so that is a very good thing, and also the guests that were present there, majority of them for the first time had on masks. So I think that is a good change, and that should encourage more Kenyans to follow suit, because it has been...
Yes, but I tend to disagree more with the Deputy President and his allies. We should not let until COVID takes one of their own is when they have to wake up to the call and now be able to adhere to the measures that have been put out there. And remember the other day, Douglas said that, and Karanja even said that the Deputy President and his allies were really having a very pessimistic view about COVID-19. And the former Senator of Mombasa, Hassan Omar Hassan, called it President Uhuru's Corona. And he was comparing to whatever Magufuli is doing there, and also the Nyali MP. So I think we should not let the country to reach whichever point it is right now in terms of large numbers and so many people succumbing to the pandemic before now we can be able to call our supporters to action. Yes. And they say that the supreme ability of a leader is to see a problem before it turns into a tragedy. And,
yes. and
I believe that has been quite been this.
And very good morning.
Reality.
Very good morning to you and welcome to the show. But yeah, you understand my position. I think I'm saying it's a good progress now. We're seeing the Deputy President is wearing a mask, but also, of course, personally, I've been having a problem by how him and other political leaders have been going around these public rallies without caring at all about themselves and the Kenyans and the lives that they were putting in danger. So as much as DP is now wearing a mask and seems to be the one now advising us on how to take care of COVID-19, I think I still have a problem with that. I think he's not the right person, but it's a good thing to see that he's departed from that reckless behavior of being around a lot of people, not wearing a mask himself, and also people around him not having masks. But we've seen that change in the maybe 2-3 meetings he's been having there. So that is a good departure, but also he's still responsible for some cases. Yes. Yeah, he's still, because he was in the forefront, engaging with the public and helping in the spread of COVID-19. So I still think he owes Kenyans an apology, him and other politicians. He does. So I've still not let him off the hook yet on that, or only on COVID-19. But it's a good thing that he's wearing his mask now. All right, very well. Thank you so much. And we're also joined by Javan Karanja from Nanyuki. Javan, good morning. All right, as he works on his signal there, we're joined by Professor Jared Onyari. Professor, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam, Douglas, Daniel, and Chevan Karanja, and our viewers from wherever they are in the world.
All right, very well. Yes, indeed, it is, I think, a morning there in other parts of the world, and evening. All right, so let's just get into our topic of the day, of course, debunking the falsehoods and propaganda that you've seen being meted on the BBI. And perhaps each one of you, I would like to hear, what is just the one thing that you feel has been propagated out there that is out of line with what is actually in the BBI? And I will start with Douglas Kirimi from Meru.
Yes, Miriam.
What I asked was, what, according to you, what is the one thing that has been propagated out there, especially by our political class? They say this is what is happening, this is what is the BBI, when in actual sense, that is not what exactly is contained in the BBI report.
We've seen leaders across the country, and especially in Mount Kenya region, moving from one church to another, saying that BBI is a tool created to propel the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to the State House, and it is a two-man affair. Remember, every time they would do that, people would cheer, and the Deputy President would say, "Do you need the BBI that is a two-man affair, or you need wheelbarrows and other things that is propagating around and all that. And people, they say this is a BBI report is a document purely created to propel the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to the State House. And the masses are buying it. And people would respond and say it is not, they don't need BBI for this country. At this juncture, everyone in this country needs to understand that the BBI process is not a one-man affair. Miriam, let me ask you a question that is very unpopular, and this represents my own personal opinion.
Okay.
If today the BBI report that is being pushed around today, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga withdraws from it for some other reasons, is no longer involved in it, or he says he's not going to run in 2022. What other thing that these people are going to push around saying BBI report is a one-man show? It is a tool that President Kenyatta has created to alienate Deputy President from State House in 2022. So this propaganda that they are pushing around and telling people that this is a tool to propel the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to presidency in 2022, it is a lie. It is a national hearing process which was brought about by two powerful Kenyans who lead these Kenyans at different levels, because we cannot say that the Right Honorable Raila Odinga doesn't control some levels of this country. There are people who voted for him, about 7 million, and those 8 million who voted for Uhuru Kenyatta, and these people have immense influence in this country. So this is a process that is a national hearing process, but that and to be brought through the political class who are our leaders. Because we have seen in this country, including the constitution was not a Kibaki and Raila thing. Actually, the same constitution that gave so much rights.
Go ahead.
The same constitution that gave so much freedoms and everything that Raila was advocating for in 2010 was used to tear gas them and do many other things. And it has created an avenue for everyone. And in this country, as Raila was saying in 2010, it is a constitution for everyone. And there's nothing that these people can do when they come around and say BBI is a one process that is going to grant Raila presidency on a silver platter. So that is one propaganda that I think is not the lead intention by BBI. BBI is about uniting the country. BBI is about consolidating the democratic gains that we have made in this nation. BBI is about progression of our country. BBI is about the future and the present of this nation. So, Miriam, that is one propaganda that has been propagated around political lines in every...
Okay, very well. Douglas Kirimi, thank you. They are coming to us live from Meru. I shall come back to you a bit later, but I would like to go to Daniel Wesonga from Nairobi. Daniel, according to what you've been seeing happening, what do you think has been the greatest misrepresentation of the BBI report?
Yes, Miriam, according to what I've gotten from a majority of Kenyans, and especially the so-called Tanga leaders, is that the BBI report is not necessary, and some of these issues in the BBI could be achieved if we implemented our 2010 constitution 100% of it. And let me tell you, Miriam, the BBI is very much necessary. The report has identified 9 issues that Kenya needs to address, including national ethos, responsible and rights of responsibilities and the rights of citizenship. And also, when you look at the ethnic antagonism and competition, divisive election, inclusivity, shared prosperity, corruption, devolution, and lastly, safety and security. And also, when you look at the wards have been running at the mercy of the governors. The BBI recommends an approximate amount of 20 million for each ward to facilitate the ward development with a special focus on the youth agenda. Also, the BBI increases county allocation from the basic 15% to 35%, which helps solve the perennial challenges of strikes, delayed payments in terms of salaries, and delayed payments to those who supply materials and do tenders with the county government. So another thing also, Miriam, the BBI will also provide a 7-year tax holiday for young people and business startup. This was not initially in our 2010 constitution. And also the issue of incubation center for businesses will be established in every ward to implement the Biashara Mashinani concept. And lastly, BBI will take care of the contentious issues of gender disparity. And these were things which were not either included in our 2010 constitution, or either they were included there, but there was no clear obligation attached to it that the government of the day could implement it. It all depended on the whims of the political class which are governing the country at that particular time. And therefore, when we come up with the BBI report, we only define it quite understandably to give it quite some clear path of implementation, and at the end of the day, make sure that the government has an obligation to implement some of these proposals in the BBI without looking at the prevailing political conditions. So to me, Miriam, BBI telling Kenyans that BBI can be implemented, the issues in the BBI can be achieved through implementing the 2010 constitution. I think it's a bit far-fetched thought, because we've seen even before the issue of gender disparity. We had a very long-standing quagmire when Chief Justice David Maraga wrote to the president asking him to dissolve parliament due to our inability to attain the 2/3 gender rule. We saw the other day a very long-standing stalemate in revenue allocation. So therefore, with the BBI report, we shall make sure that some of these issues are given a spectrum and that they are given a way of working around them, so that we do not have clauses in our constitution which we cannot even mobilize the necessary political machinery to be able to implement them. And that is why the BBI report is quite timely, and it should be given some clear be able to be understood from that concept, Miriam. And just to finish up, the other day, you had the pastoralist coming on board saying that perhaps they were not included in the BBI report, but after the former Prime Minister met the leaders of the pastoral communities in Kenya, he was able to define to them, and he told them that they are included under the Ministry of Agriculture, the reform that are to be undertaken under the Ministry of Agriculture. And he said, through the BBI report, their role and their position in that particular recommendation shall be brought up out quite clearly. And that is what some of the recommendations of BBI is doing, bringing out issues that maybe were deemed to be not sufficiently addressed quite clearly, so that the government of the day could be able to address them quite sufficiently. That is my take, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much, Jevan. You're joining us from Nanyuki there. Good morning. Oh, well, he's still having problems with his signal there, but I know Professor is there. Professor, what do you think has been the biggest, Ms. Jevan?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. So what do you think has been the biggest misrepresentation when it comes to the BBI report?
Yeah, and I think majority of people are buying those narratives that is about creating positions. And I think that is something that the people who are calling for consensus, that is they are finding route to disappear from the truth. Because at the end of the day, Miriam, we understand this is a whole document that has a lot of...
All right. Are you able to get a more quiet place, and then you can talk to us, because there seems to be a bit of some background noise there that is really affecting the quality of your whatever you're trying to tell us there. So are you able to speak now? All right. As
I will talk like, not now, yeah. Just a few minutes, I rectify.
All right, very fine. Okay, thank you so much. So as Jevan takes care of that, let's go to Professor. Professor, I know we've been talking about the BBI, we've been reading the newspapers here every morning. Which do you think has been the greatest mispresentation of what is actually in the BBI?
Miriam, I'm a teacher. I teach students. And most students fail exams, Miriam, without reading instructions. And then they want to set their exams, they want to set the question and write their answer and then bring to me. not the exam I said. Miriam, what will you get? Of course you will fail. The question which we need to ask Miriam, why BBI? You saw the kind of animosity, Miriam, we had 2017. And if Miriam, for those who don't learn from history, you are condemned to repeat it. And Miriam, from where I sit, if we cannot midwife BBI, I being a person who has seen what a conflict means to a country, what animosity means to a country, we are yet to see what will come in the days to come. So Miriam, the Prime Minister and the President were able to identify 90-point agenda, appointed a task force. And if anything, Miriam, when we go to attend a wedding in a church, the presiding minister, when he comes, you walk from the other side, you reach there, and now he want to join you. He will ask a question. Is there another person who is having an issue why this one cannot be married as a wife and a husband? Then you look around and those who are doing they are sweating there, Miriam. In the end, nobody comes and say, then you have your case rest forever, never to ask again. The 9-point agenda, Miriam, were identified: ethnic antagonism and competition, lack of national ethos, inclusivity, devolution, divisive erection, safety and security corruption, shared prosperity, respect for human rights and civil rights. Miriam, any Kenyan who had an issue, and I said, Miriam, as we are now, let me tell you, there is no conflict between the Prime Minister, between the Deputy President and the Prime Minister, nor with the President, unless he wants to create. And when he creates it, we will honor it. So the people who had a conflict, Miriam, they identified this. And the Deputy President was on the side of the President. He was even, the President, they did ask him to bring people to be part of the steering committee. So Miriam, if he had an issue, he could have told Mr. President, put point number 10 and 11 and 12, this, so that we discuss, it can bring the country together. He never spoke. The task force, Miriam, was mandated to outline the policy administrative reform, proposal, and implementation modalities. That was their duty, Miriam. And that task force, Miriam, have diligently, with a lot of patriotism, done their work. And the next thing was, because our constitution, Miriam, requires public participation, Miriam. They were tasked through public participation and propose lasting solution to the challenges we outlined above. Miriam, the Deputy President and his team did not do this. Miriam should. Are we going to entertain them at this 11th hour with all their propagandas? I think they should have their case rest. And if they feel, Miriam, before I go straight to your question, if they feel, Miriam, they want to amend the Constitution of Kenya, Miriam, I have said Article 254, 255, 256 million of the Kenyan Constitution, it does not stop you, stop me, or stop anybody else. They can bring the changes they want. Correct 1 million signatures, have their referendum question, Miriam, take it to IBC, they verify the signatures, Miriam, we can go for the referendum of the Kenya they want. Nobody has stopped Miriam. That's how democratic Kenyan society is, with a lot of freedom, Miriam. Now, Miriam, let me just come to your question. The steering committee were given, they come out with what, Miriam? Modalities and implementations. Asking Kenyans to participate and propose lasting resolutions. What have Kenyans suggested, Miriam? They have suggested, Miriam, that we need a hybrid system of governance in our country. How do we do it? The Prime Minister and the 2 deputies. And the cabinet ministers to come from Parliament, as it was in the original constitution, the old constitution. Why, Miriam, why on this one? We want cabinet ministers to be accountable to the people of Kenya. Many times the cabinet secretaries as they are today, they are wanted in the parliament, they don't even appear. So if they will be in parliament, Miriam, and they want to ask a question, Miriam, there is a day which is slotted, Miriam, for a prime minister to address the people of Kenya. So what you are trying to say, they are talking about an imperial president. A president who is the head of government. A president who is the head of state. A president who doesn't come to parliament to answer questions, to be accountable to the people of Kenya. And a president where the president is the head of state and the prime minister head of government. Is that an imperial president, Miriam? They are saying it is becoming a protest system of government, Miriam. As we have, Miriam, now we have got 22 cabinet secretaries who is earning a salary, who is earning allowances. But the cabinet ministers, under the new modalities, Miriam, they will be earning the salaries of a member of parliament because they will be elected members of parliament and only get allowances from what? From the extra duties they are doing as cabinet minister. Is that now, Miriam, spending more money or spending less? That's another propaganda which is being peddled around Miriam. Mm-hmm. So what Kenyans now wanted here, Miriam, is they wanted an executive which is accountable to the people of Kenya, and that's the way to go. They say, Miriam, the president will become imperial because he will be appointing the prime minister. Miriam, the president appoints the chief justice and all other things. Has he ever influenced them? Those are propaganda. Another propaganda, Miriam. The people of Kenya were asked Miriam questions about the judiciary. They say there are some corrupt judges. Miriam, as you know, as I do, there are 41 judges who have been appointed, who have been gone through the interview by judicial services, have been forwarded to the president. But the intelligence of the country has said some of the serving judges, Miriam, are corrupt. And the judiciary is insisting that these people are not corrupt. We have said the Chief Justice is the President of the Supreme Court. He is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. He is the Chairman for the Judicial Service Commission. Miriam, this is a monster. There's nothing you can do to this person. Mm-hmm. We are introducing a ombudsman to the judiciary, who will be appointed by the president, but there will be a team which will interview this person, forward a name to the president. The president forwards the name to parliament. Parliament will vet. If they agree with the president, then they appoint Miriam. How has now the president come that is controlling the judiciary? Then the president will control the judiciary simply because he's appointing the ombudsman and does not control the judiciary when he appoints the chief justice. What a propaganda, Miriam. Mm-hmm. The next issue, Miriam. Mm-hmm. I will go on and on and on. There are so many propagandas which
I'll come back to you, Professor. I'll give you an opportunity there to sip some tea, or I don't know if it's porridge. You seem to be a very healthy person, but I'll come back to you in a short bit. But Douglas Kirimi, a host of things there that Professor has outlined, and indeed you started that and the rest of the panelists there. But we know one of the key sticking issue there that has been, at the center talk, especially in our political class, is the creation of positions for certain people so that they're able to come into the government through backdoor or whatever it is. So why do you think, according to your own opinion and what you've been seeing being said in the media and being said by our political class there, who are opposed to the BBI process, the issue of expanded executive, do you think it has been blown out of proportion, or it deserves the attention it has been getting?
Yes, Miriam Douglas has some technical hitch, so I'll just step in. Okay. And according to whatever is there in the BBI, I believe that is the best prescription for this country to ensure that the issue of inclusivity is dealt with a finality, and also to ensure that the notion that the winner takes it all, which has always been driving Kenyans into violence and ethnic tension every electoral year, especially when it comes to presidency, will also be settled and and each and every one of us will feel at least they are represented in the government. And Miriam, it is very unfortunate that this kind of discourse is coming from the quarters who support the deputy president, and even the deputy president himself has been overheard telling his supporters that we do not want a referendum which will create positions for few selfish individuals at the cost of the Kenyan taxpayers' money. But when you look at the deputy president giving his speech at the Chatham House, a majority of Kenyans can go and check it on YouTube, I believe. They'll be able to find it, where he said that the only solution to the divisive elections, to the winner takes it all formula that we are having right now, the status quo, is by expanding our executive, so that we make sure we create a more position, so that even the minority groups have a place at the table of leadership. And Miriam, I believe we can never have any other working formula when it comes to inclusivity more than that. Because remember, if a particular tribe has the presidency, then undoubtedly we'll have another particular tribe having the prime minister, and a particular maybe two different tribes having the deputy prime ministers. And these people shall also be in parliament together, with a position being created for the official leader of the opposition. Therefore, now that tells you that we take a departure from the current situation where when you become the first runners up in an election, you are left for the streets. So with an official opposition leader with his shadow cabinet in parliament, I believe that will also give a voice to the people who are rallying behind that particular individual in the run-up to the election. And it will bring each and every Kenyan in the conversation of governing the country for the next 5 years, until we hold an election to decide who takes over the mantle of leadership. So to me, Miriam, I think those who are talking about an expanded executive as a burden to Kenyans, as something that Kenyans do not need at the moment, are very, very alienated from the reality that the country has been facing perennial ethnic tensions when it comes to presidency. And the presidency, we have been having a very peaceful election when it comes to the constituencies, when it comes to wards, when it comes to the county, the governors. But the only problem the Kenyan people have been having, it has been always with the presidency, having only a single position where once one wins the general election, he becomes president and the deputy president, and these other people who are vying against them are left to go to the streets and do all kinds of shenanigans in terms of opposition and all that. So to me, Miriam, I think that is the best formula. It will going to ensure that at the end of the day, including even those who lose out on presidency, are catered for to be in parliament and be able to advance the voices of the people they represent. And from that, Kenyans will have very homogeneous conversation, and a conversation which everyone feels part and parcel of.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. Javen, I don't know if you're able now to receive as well where you are. Can you speak now? All right. Javen Karanja from Nanyuki is still working on his signal there. I don't know if Douglas is back. Daniel, is Douglas back from where you...
Douglas is not yet back. Maybe a prof can come in.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. Okay. So, Professor, we've seen a host of, apart from other things that the people who have been having a problem with this BBI report have been mentioning as an issue. We've seen a lot of them on imperial presidency, a bloated parliament, and also a conflicted electoral commission. That is what they're saying is a real problem there in the BBI, of course, when you add the issue of ombudsman and all of that. And of course, also the police commission there. I think a few people have a problem with that. And a host of the church leaders there. We saw the Catholic bishops there, and we've seen DP's side and others. They seem to coalesce around these 4 or so issues. Is it a coincidence?
Miriam, you have talked about the church and the clergy. Miriam, the clergy which I admire, you know, Miriam, I've been in the struggle for some time also. I've been in the struggle, and I can be able to identify the people who believe in the struggle and who believes well in this country, Miriam. When you talk about the struggle, Miriam, it takes me back to remember the legs of Alexander Muga, Bishop Gitari, Bishop Okuru, Reverend Njoya, Archbishop Manasseh Sukuri, Archbishop Nziki Mwana wa Nziki. Those are the clergymen whom you talk, Miriam, who stood for the people of Kenya, Miriam. Who will have a pastoral letter every other Sunday, Miriam, and the Kenyans will know what's happening. This clergy, Miriam, who just go on a national TV to tell us Solomon killed Goliath. People are all clergy people who are working to the Deputy President Miriam to correct handouts for themselves, not for the church, Miriam. And even the money, Miriam, which the Deputy President Miriam is giving them is under questionable, Miriam. So what I want to say, Miriam, if they don't say the otherwise, they will miss the money they are getting. So they are speaking, the other one saying, go there, raise an issue, go there and raise an issue, go there, raise an issue, Miriam. So please, spare me a moment when you mention a clergy. I don't see any. Mahatma Gandhi did say this, Miriam. Show me one Christian who walks like Jesus Christ, and I will become a Christian. I don't want you to preach to me. Show me one who is like Jesus Christ, and I will become a Christian. Show me one of the clergy, Miriam, who is like Reverend Bishop Alexander Muga, Bishop Okuru, Bishop Surumeti, Manasseh Sikuria, Reverend Njoya, one, and then I will be able to comment about them. Back to your question again, Miriam. IBC, Miriam, when we are dealing with IBC, Kenyans were asked, how do we deal with divisive elections? And Miriam, one of the things, those who are peddling propaganda about BBI, Miriam, these are the views about Kenyans. Among the point agenda, Kenyans were asked, what do you want us to do with IBC? I say this now, we cannot trust it. We don't have confidence about it. They bettered with the 2017 elections. They have refused to open the servers up to now, Miriam. So about 8 million Kenyans don't have confidence in them. And we are going for an election, Miriam. Only a fool would want to walk to Chebukati to an election to bring another conflict, which will be terrible. Then Kenyans ask themselves, how have we dealt with this one in the past? You know, the likes of the Deputy President in 1997, he was coming from the hangover of YK. Should come, we help him with the history, where we have come from. These are the views about Kenyans, Miriam. They said, when we were faced with this confidence, when we did not have confidence or trust with the Electoral Commission of Kenya, what did we do? Then we were able to have a little bit peaceful election in 1997 and a peaceful election in 2002. What did they say, Miriam? 1997, Miriam, we had interparliamentary parties, what? Group, IPPG. What happened? Every party was asked, Miriam, to bring a person there. Not every party in the street here, Miriam. Those parties which are in parliament, Miriam. And that methodology, Miriam, is what we use to take members of parliament to East African Legislative Assembly. If you have more members in the parliament, you give more the list of the members to go to East African Assembly, and they are voted in parliament. Whether they come from the opposition, from Jubilee, whichever, they are voted in the parliament because those are our representatives. Then Miriam, Kenyan said that, and we were very peaceful to solve that conflict. Because 1997 that tulikuwa mageuzi. We want change, we want change, we want change. So this is what Kenyans have said.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody has got a problem with this Miriam, let us give. Let him give us an opportunity. The alternative. But the wind has already been closed to Miriam. We have been having 24 months. So the best you can do, it is either if you want the current situation to continue prevailing, you vote no. If you want to agree with Kenyans, what they have said, that every party to give that kind of person, and when we have elected these members to East African Assembly Miriam, they don't go there to serve ODM. They don't go there to serve Jubilee or Wiper or Amani Congress for Kenya. They go there as members of East African Assembly to serve Kenya. So whoever will be appointed by a political party to go to IBC is not going to serve a political party. Is going to serve the people of Kenya. Be it as it may, Miriam, there are even some judges who are serving the Supreme Court, even the High Court, who belong to these parties, Miriam, but they cannot say it. But when they go there, they go to serve the people of Kenya. And what is in someone's heart, Miriam, you cannot be able to see. So that is how we are going to solve the problem. So whoever is bettering rights that when these people are going there, they are going to serve their political parties, history proves them wrong. Those who were nominated, appointed in 1997 and served all the way to 2007 were members of a political parties, but they went there as commissioners. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to come out.
All right.
Another question, Miriam, on devolution. Kenyans have been saying, Miriam, they want more money on the ground. We have had people saying, Miriam, there are some factions which the national government has deliberately refused to do what? To take the devolve. Mm. Miriam, Kenyans have said they want 35%. Not to President Uhuru Kenyatta, not the Prime Minister. The people of Kenya gave their views that they want that 35% of our last audited budget should go to the grassroots. And more devolved faction to go to the devolved units, and even money to go to the ground. Wiper Party, they proposed, Miriam, that they want money to go to the world level, because I see this now. Some governors are mischievous, Miriam. If they know this village or this ward is not erect for them, they will not see development for 5 years. Now the constitution is forcing them, Miriam. Why are the people refusing, Miriam? So those are mere propaganda, Miriam. And on corruption, I know why, Miriam, people are opposing this document. I know, let me tell you, the others are said this was, Miriam. We have said when it comes to corruption, we want timeline. BBI is proposing 2 years. So that you don't steal money from people of Kenya, you carry them in a sack in the form of wheelbarrows, you start giving the people of Kenya, and then the case goes on and on and on and on, and judgment. We are saying 2 years, the case is over. That is what people fear, Miriam. They want the current status to be maintained. So, Miriam, when someone wants to oppose something, he does not go direct. He brings non-issues. Mm-hmm. When from where I sit, Miriam, BBI takes Kenya into another level. We are progressing.
All right.
Let me just give other panelists to contribute as well, Miriam.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much. Tankoi Adam, you're present in the house today. Thank you so much for writing to us and you're saying, how will minority have place in leadership? Convince me if minority like Ogiek, Il Chamo's community are not given their constituency, but people given a normal majority in the country. Those advocating for inclusivity are political class, not normal monarchy. I stand by the fact that proposed partisan IEBC commissioners would bring this country down during election. Wesonga, this is directed to you by still Tankoi there. He's saying, I have had an opportunity to pass through DP home. The DP has 5 million hen-laying eggs daily. X gives him 5 million by 10 ametfanyia sabu hapo, so DP anapata about 50 million per day. His generosity is in his heart. All right, Fesonga, stop hating. Even if he gives 10 million daily, iyo pesa haiwezi kwisha. So Yeah, so DP anatoa pesa yake huko kwa eggs. That is that. Yes.
Miriam, that's a very misconstrued fallacy that has been sold out there by the proponents of the handouts ideology that the deputy president propagates. And this is a very, very bad misinformation, which is meant to hoodwink the poor Kenyans, whose money is always looted and stolen from the coffers in the name of ghost projects. And we saw that in Kimwarer and Arorodam, where 21 billion shillings was lost. And the deputy president himself came out to say that it's not 21 billion shillings, but rather 7 billion shillings. But we do have the DCI, other investigative agencies, and also the Office of the Auditor General, which placed the amount at 21 billion Kenyan shillings. And if you tell us that you are dishing out millions every day, you know, Miriam, there's a day I said here that there's an African proverb which says that if you are peeling groundnuts for a blind man, you have to keep whistling so that he doesn't suspect that you are eating what is right his. So the deputy president and his allies are accused of probably embezzling funds which are of a tune to of 21 billion Kenyan shillings. But these are the same people moving around across the country with choppers, dishing millions every Sunday, calling delegations at his current home and dishing wheelbarrows and all the other kind of merchandise. So to me, I think no other politician in this country is not the only politician who has business enterprises. We know politicians like Gideon Moi, who run multi-billion enterprises, but he has never been seen dishing handouts to the young people of this country, to the peasantry of this country, and therefore it calls for the question, we need to have an audit of where he gets the money. And of course, as I said, if he has been, his allies have been implicated in serious corruption scandals, and we see him giving out money, whatever we get is that is the money that is supposed to be to be implementing those dam projects, to be working in the NYS and other parastatals where his allies have been found to have embezzled funds which are meant for public use. So to me, Miriam, that is a very, very misconstrued fallacy, and the people of Kenya should realize that the deputy president and his allies are very corrosive at the core of the leadership of this country. And if allowed to take the mantle of this country, I believe Kenya will go bankrupt in less than a period of 6 months. Mm-hmm. So to me, I don't buy whatever he is saying there, but let him read about the BBI and whatever the BBI report recommends about prudent leadership and the fight against corruption. I think that is where I'll limit our discussion to be.
All right. So you were responding to Tankoi.
Let me just demystify that.
Okay.
I want to demystify that. Our deputy president is a generous man. Mm-hmm. And may God bless him for being generous, for being generosity, Miriam. But let me just ask you this question, Miriam. From when the time he was born, up to 2013, where did the generosity go? Where didn't we see that kind of generosity? Giving on. Why is it that it is 2016, 2012, 2013 to 2017, the period when a lot of money was stolen were rooted from the public coffers? That's where we had Morel and Aror Dam and many, many more, Miriam. Even some of the money, Miriam, which sent Waruka to jail. This is the time, Miriam, when the money just disappeared. So what we want to say that we are not against him, and may God keep on blessing his hands. But I know there are some Kenyans who are in the business of eggs and producing more those kind of eggs, Miriam. But they don't show out, they don't show off. Why was the deputy president not giving wheelbarrows in 2013, 2014, 2015? So, Miriam, what we want to say, we are not against him. And we will never be. But we want to know the facts. Even the eggs he is producing, we must be told which market he is consuming those eggs, Miriam.
Me and you.
What this man should be able to understand, Miriam, this country has got intelligence. And the people don't talk out from the bruise. The facts are known. When the fullness of time will come, is when you will realize what kind of person he is.
All right.
So it's not telling that we should not be able to be jealous of his man. We are not jealous, but we are against. Miriam, let me tell you, that Cora tell us every single day the deputy president has condemned corruption. But we have seen him trying to protect people who have been charged in corruption. Let him just one day tell us that he has stood firm and said that you are stealing from the people of Kenya. Your history tells us, Miriam, when director of prosecution, when the director for criminal investigation, when ethics and corruption commission, Miriam, are pursuing people who are perceived to have stolen the people of Kenya, what does he say? And then you come to tell us that he has been pressed with eggs. Spare us those that kind of nonsense.
Professor,
we do not want to hear that he's the only one who has got heads. Let him just tell us what he has commented on corruption on BBI. What has he said? Don't just bring an issue, Miriam. We are in the business, Miriam. Let me just have this. We are in the business of working towards a united Kenya, Miriam. And let me tell you, Miriam, the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has been in the struggle to liberate this country, Miriam. And there is no harm joining Murade of saying that Raila needs to be given a Mandela moment. He has struggled for what is just for this country. Some of us, we believe in the struggle together with the Prime Minister. We cannot allow an imperial president to come in this country. Then we could have betrayed the ideas we have stood for. So Miriam, some of the chorus, he's saying that the James, this kind of constitution, Miriam, makes even the James to become a member, even a prime minister of this country or a deputy prime minister. What you simply need to do is to be very supportive to your party.
All right, very well.
And mobilizing the party, Miriam, and through the parties, you can be a member of parliament.
Very well.
Obama was a minority, but he became the president. So the only way the James have exemplary leadership, skills, do fairness, believe in human rights. Nobody will just despise you simply because you come from those kind of small tribes. But the way you see yourself, I am an James, we are marginalized, we are this. That is what you will remain because you have told yourself you can still rise. We have seen even some children from those marginalized communities. They rise when they reach universities, Miriam, they become the best. What they need to do, Miriam, is to look for opportunities. And opportunities, Miriam, we are now taking funds to their word, 5%. So you need to open up and stop up and see what we are trying to do. We are bringing money to you. You are saying you are marginalized. Yeah, I know you are having a member of the county assembly. You will have money from the national government you have never seen. So Miriam, let me just rest my case that we are not the jealous of the eggs of the deputy prime minister. Other Kenyans are producing eggs, but we have not seen them just carrying money in sacks. And on a particular time, Miriam, do you know, Miriam, what I was saying the other day? Even the member of parliament for Stare, he has been in Tanga movement. Some of the wheelbarrows are Mukonga 10, Miriam. They are just shown on the screen that they have taken by the Miriam. They never get from there. And he said, I cannot betray the people of Kenya. What we want to do, Miriam, we want decency and honest politics. We cannot stop the deputy president from becoming the president of this country. The people of Kenya will decide. But we have a national obligation and a natural obligation, Miriam, to tell Kenyans that you don't allow yourself to be deceived. That's our duty.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. And Professor today is very fed up. And by the way, Professor, we've been eating those eggs. You're wondering where was the cues are happy. Okay? So I'm assuming if that many, that means it's been feeding all of us. Because that's a lot of eggs. And I love eggs. So okay. So me and you, we've been customers, Professor, okay? Thank you so much. Tankoi Adam, I don't know how this conversation has gone in, but I think these are very important questions you're asking. And so we're here. We shall try to attempt to answer some of these questions you're saying. Basonga, Kimorel, and Arol, DPP debunked your narrative. He said DP has nothing to do with those projects and scandals. I don't know if our production can get a video there where the DP was the reason DP even got into the problem with the dams in the first place, when he came out and said it is not 21 million, a billion that was lost. It is 7. And, that raised a lot of question because, one, he was not the CS for finance. 2,
Yes.
he had nothing to do with treasury. 3, how does he know? How is that his business? I think that is how DP was dragged into this conversation.
Oh, yes.
So
That's correct, Miriam.
Yeah. And also, Miriam, we have to tell him that perhaps the investigation revealed that some of the money was used to buy towels and other amenities that were found, ended up in hotels in Mombasa and Kenya. And these kind of hotels are linked to the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And that is why he comes to the center of it. And also, Miriam, if you are a general and your troops have been mentioned of atrocities and violation of human rights, then as the leader of that particular platoon, you become it. And that is what happened with the Kimorer and Roda. Key among the suspects who are accused of getting involved in the scandal and being the key beneficiaries are people like Kipchumba Murkomen, who is a close ally of the Deputy President, Farouk Kibet, who is the aide to the Deputy President, and so many others who are deemed to be people who are very common at the Harambee House Annex, the office of the Deputy President. So therefore, Miriam, the buck stops at the Deputy President's door, and he can never get out of it. And also the fact that he came out to debate on the numbers that the DPP and other investigative agencies were giving, then it gives you a notion of a man who was greatly involved in this particular scandal, and he felt directly he held the responsibility of the loss of funds at the Kimarer and the Road Dam scandal. That is it, Miriam.
Sawa.
Miriam, the next question for that Cora, is there a dam in Kimarer and the Road? Is there a dam?
Is there a dam? Tankoi. Kuna dam huko? Ama what happened to the 7 billion?
And where did the money go?
Chibu Professor.
And what did the Deputy President say? He's the one who dragged himself. Yeah. He said it is 7 billion. 7 billion is 7 shillings, Miriam. That is taxpayers' money, which belongs to the people of Kenya. If he has got so much money from the Hawks, Miriam, he should then return for us the 7 billion. If he thinks that is no money.
Okay, and as long as he continues selling those eggs to me and you, Professor, he shall continue having that much money, and the eggs are delicious. All right, very well. So now let's look at something else that our Douglas, unfortunately, he had a bit of a problem with his signal. He is not with us to continue this conversation. But as he started there, mentioning some of the things that have been misrepresented in the BBI, he said that initially there were people saying that this BBI process is a two-man affair, and also this was a tool created to deny DP Ruto a chance to the presidency, and also it was a tool to have Raila join the government through the back door, and so on and so forth. But the same people who have been saying, and Tankoi, I'm not attacking anybody. Continue writing so that you can also answer this question as the panelists attempt to answer this question as well. So initially, those were the accusations towards the handshake and the BBI process. It is a 2 months affair. It is to benefit. But now you're seeing the same people who are attacking this process and the premises of this process are coming in and saying, you know what? We also want to be included in this process. We need consensus now in the same process that, you know, Professor.
They want in the process. Miriam, let me tell you, Miriam. Raila, he comes from the NASA coalition. These people like Wetangula, they tried to be very mischievous. How far did they go? They reach the point and they say, this is for the good for the country. And Miriam, let me just have with a lot of humility and appeal to Kenyans. What we are after is a united country. We don't want to leave anyone behind. But if you want to remain behind Miriam, can we force you? Can we force you? I say, Miriam, one man can take a horse or a cow to the river. 100 of them cannot force you to drink. You cannot. So, Miriam, we cannot force William Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And Miriam, let me tell you, the coming of the President and the Prime Minister, if the allegation could hold water, Miriam, they don't have the capacity to stop the people of Kenya from electing him to become the President of Kenya. Whoever becomes the president for this country must be elected by the people of Kenya. President Daniel Arap Moi, a very powerful president, the right president, he tried to bring Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. People rejected this project. So those ones who have got the idea that Raila or somebody else is going to stop the other one, reject the project. You have got the numbers. So Miriam, the president has said that he involved the deputy president. He even suggested some members who went to the steering committee. The president has not denied. He has appeared before a national television, Miriam, even when he was being interviewed by Joe Gay. He said, Miriam, the prime minister reached him, he was aware, and he said, my boss is going on. So Miriam is a process. He is so much aware. He is playing politics. He's a politician. And he has done very well. And the president for the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he said, Wakisi siku moja went to him. And he said, it's just like a relay in a pattern. He's having the pattern and he wants to hand for to William. But William has come back to pick the pattern. And even when he's supposed to run, he's running again to another different direction, Miriam. So you can't reach. Mm-hmm. So Miriam, from where we stand, people of Kenya should be stopped from getting the propaganda. Nobody wants to stop the deputy president from becoming the president of Kenya. And we have said this. We are not dealing with 2022. 2022 will come. Mm-hmm. We are trying to deal with laws and reform our institution to take Kenya forward. And I know, Miriam, hear this. If you don't believe in the struggle, this is how you find yourself. You will be seeing some shadows and you think they are chasing you. So what the deputy president should stop up. Let him just prepare his team to oppose the BBI. If he comes today, so be it. Kenyans, we are a democratic society and we will go by the majority. But from where Miriam might sit, Kenyans will only be bewitched if they refuse this document.
All right.
We will hear whether 2022, 23, they will be asking money to come to the ground. They will be asking the national government to devolve those factions with no money.
All right, very well. And of course, Karanja there is joining us. Karanja, good afternoon.
Yes, good morning, Miriam.
It's afternoon. You left us when we were in the morning. Now it's noon here. I'm sure it is there.
Yeah, it's afternoon, but maybe some of us were watching us from this morning.
All right, go ahead. So you were, I was about to ask a different question, but I think it will be right to just allow you to complete your thought before you were interrupted earlier. And that was one or some of the, just one key misrepresentation you feel, one of the key articles that you think has been misrepresented on the BBI report. Okay, so Jevon, try to look for a more quieter environment there. We seem to be having a bit of a problem there. Please, even as you do that. Daniel, my next question is there, in your own opinion, or from what you've been seeing happening there in public, what do you think could be some of the things, or do you feel there are articles or some things that are included in this BBI that have been under-highlighted to the public, and what will that be?
Yes, Miriam, I think the BBI, whoever has read the BBI report, it is a document which has been written in a very, very layman's language, a document that anyone who has received basic education can be able to understand the sphere and the kind of horizon that it encapsulates. And therefore, I believe nothing really that was that stemmed out of the 9-point agenda that was identified by the president and the former prime minister has been left out in the BBI report, or maybe written in some language that is not understandable. They have tried as much as possible to use a very, very plain language, a language which can be understood by a common man reading it at the ward level, at the village level of this country. So I think in matters of the 9-point agenda, which formed the basis of discussion for the BBI report, I believe every issue has been efficiently and adequately been addressed. And those ones perhaps who feel that there are some issues which were not adequately addressed are those ones who did not submit their views to the BBI task force. And that is why they feel that some were not addressed. But Miriam, ask yourself, how do you expect your issues, your views to be included to a document which you refuse to appear before the committee that was collecting the same views to be included? You know, the experts who are doing that and were not rocket scientists who could read your mind from wherever you are to be able to ascertain that this particular individual needed this particular issue to be included in the report before you going before the committee and being able to present the views. But to me, as far as the BBI report is concerned, I feel like everything was quite captured well and in a very, very simplistic and communicable language, which every Kenyan can read and be able to understand for themselves. So I don't think the BBI is lacking in some kind of way. And if there is any part of it that is lacking, perhaps it will manifest in the future. And also that will give us a window of opportunity, perhaps, to talk about now, again, implementing a new set of reforms to our constitution to make sure that at the end of the day, the constitution that we had in 2010 suitably addresses the immediate problems facing our people.
All right, thank you so much, Emmanuel Olenkiti. You're saying the panelists, while addressing corruption, they shouldn't just talk about Kimarer. I mean, it isn't the only corruption case in the country. And you know what, Emmanuel, I agree with you. It isn't the only corruption in the country. Why can't you guys talk about NYC? I think you meant NYS, the very recent COVID billionaires. Let's be consistent and be generous with what we say. And of course, that COVID story is now under investigation, and I think earlier there you also alluded to Raila being attached to that scandal. I think the investigations have been ongoing, and the PS for Health, what's her name? The lady, she's been appearing there in Parliament to answer to some of these things. I've not seen the name where the CS for Health has been mentioned in that. I've not seen, I don't know, maybe I haven't read the whole thing. I've not seen, I don't know. Have you seen Raila's name in that KEMSA scandal? Maybe I'll just go do research, but I haven't seen that. But also we have,
Miriam, let us help our viewer. Yes. And let him not just misunderstand us, Miriam.
Yes.
And let him just look at my face if he's saying, Miriam, I detest corruption.
Emmanuel, look at Professor.
I hate corruption, Miriam. If investigations will reveal that the Prime Minister was involved, Miriam, let him be charged in a court of law. Mm-hmm. Miriam, let me just tell me the court. Is he happy, Miriam, that more than 7 billion Kenyans at KEMSA, the BBI are there, the doctors are dying there, Kenyans are dying there? You think we can support that? If you have stolen the money which belongs to the people of Kenya, regardless who you are, even if you will be the President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he will get out of office, we'll go for him. He's only protected, he's having only immunity in this time, Miriam. But if he gets out of office, he will be dealt with. How many several times have you seen Mwai Kibaki being taken to court? How many several times did you see the former president, the late President Daniel Amoy being taken to court? Mm-hmm. Nobody's immunity. The money which belongs to the people of Kenya, the taxpayers' money, myself and my brother there, we should be the first people to protect.
All right, very well.
The fact that the other one has stolen does not make this one right. We will condemn the one for the deputy president. We will condemn the one for the prime minister if he has been involved, Miriam. Investigations are going on. We have made a lot of noise here, Miriam, from here. And he has not heard our position. We are saying the money for the people of Kenya has been stolen. The prices have been inflated. The BBI are just in the chemical stores, Miriam. They should come and help the people of Kenya. That is our position, Miriam.
All right.
We are not against anybody, Miriam. What we are trying to say, Miriam,
yes,
the deputy president himself, not myself, not you, not even him, he dragged himself to Kimarela and Arod Dam. He said it's only 7 billion. 7 billion belongs to the people of Kenya. 7 billion is not 7 shillings.
All right. Very well.
So please, let him just pay us. We are not defending anybody. And we have got no apologies to take. If you have taken the money which belongs to the people of Kenya, we will continue condemning. And one day,
all right,
you will pay the money for the people of Kenya. Kimarela wrote it down, Miriam. The floods which came this year, I don't know why this Kenyan is not getting annoyed. Some people have been displaced because too much rain is because of the climate change. If that dam could have been there, some Kenyans could have not been displaced. Some people could have died. And then you keep on telling us, oh, we are against this. We are here to protect the people of Kenyan taxpayers' money.
Okay, Professor, you've set the record straight. Now let's just on to my question. I asked Daniel, and perhaps I didn't put it in a way that perhaps I wanted to ask, and that was, we've seen a lot of these issues that are being talked about so much on the BBI. That is the expanded executive. Now we see the ombudsman, the police commission, the increased number of legislators, and all that. Electoral commissioners and how they will be selected or be made part of that IEBC there and all of that. But even with that, there's still other issues in the BBI that perhaps would have deserved more attention and more, more to be highlighted as much as these other issues, have been highlighted. Professor, do you, according to, because we've been going through this BBI report, and I'm sure you have the other comprehensive version there, do you think there are issues there that are of quite of importance to the general public and perhaps Kenyans deserve to know? Because if they're going to vote for it, they need to know what is inside so that they're able to decide now, okay, fine, because of what I have read or what I've been told is there, according to what is in the BBI, then I'll choose to vote yes or no should the referendum come. Do you think there are issues there that perhaps deserved more attention as much as these other ones that we've been seeing around that have not been given the attention they deserve, but they are of great importance to Kenyans? And what would that be, if at all you feel like that?
Yeah, Miriam, let me just have this to say. Now I'm talking as an authority. Let him just challenge me, whoever wants to challenge me. The director for prosecution, he said more than 224 billion things have been used on corruption.
224.5 billion.
Corruption. Miriam, I want to say, even in a financial year, will the protest government take that amount of money? BBI through corruption, we are going to see that. And let me tell you, Miriam, with this one, if you think democracy is expensive, try anarchy and austerity. Miriam, the former president, Mwai Kibaki, he was an economist, a very brilliant man. In fact, he had brought the economy of this country, Miriam, we were headed to a double digit of our GDP. Miriam, because of austerity, because of divisive election, Miriam, because of allegation that the elections have been rigged, Miriam, our GDP went back, Miriam, into negative. For the last 13 years, Miriam, now, almost 13, 10, 12 years, Miriam, we have not even reached the 5%. That one tells you, Miriam, to have peaceful, to spend money in democracy in a right way, so that Kenyans will be able to do their own things. Kenyans will not be killed. Kenyans will not be displaced. Don't talk about that a lot of money is going to be there when people are rooting money. Why can these Kenyans talk about corruption, the money which is going for corruption, Miriam? 224 billion Kenyans are pocketing, and this is some of this money people are being given. And they are not talking about, they are talking the money which a few people are just going to earn genuinely for serving Kenyans. Our ministers, our deputy prime minister, the two deputies and the prime minister are going to serve the people of Kenya, and they will be paid as workers. Why are you going to have an issue? If we are going to ombudsman so that when Kenyans take their cases to court, Miriam, they are assured that they will get justice. Why are you against when we are asking for accountability, Miriam? Miriam, you have been even hearing the chairman for IBC saying that we need 14 billion to do an election. Those are lies, Miriam. Britain does not even use that kind of money. So, Miriam, we want to deal with corruption, and Kenyan must be reformers, join reformers to transform this country. This country will never be built by me, Miriam, or later yourself. This country will be built by all of us, and our country will be prosperous. Our country is great, Miriam. Miriam, let me tell you, they have said some of the question you have asked me, which the best side of this BBI, Miriam. It is addressing the issues within the young people. Miriam, any country which is ignoring the young people, you are finished. We were discussing yesterday about the issues facing the continent of Africa. Even Miriam, we do not bring these young people on the table and saying that you can make it. They have been given 7 years to tax holiday to start their business. Miriam, if you can be able to manage your cost, Miriam, that is something brilliant. Miriam, you are going to have incubators in all counties, business incubators for where the young people will be taught, Miriam. The future is the young people. And Miriam, this one has mandated them. Even Miriam, some of our graduates, immediately they finish from university, the following day, no work. Help wants their money. They have been given 4 years holiday. And I expected all of them to say, to amend that one, to say that if a young person who has gotten money from help and he doesn't have a job, he should not be asked to pay. That's the kind of conversation. This one is saying this one is saying this. So Miriam, do you know that when it comes to ethnic antagonism and the competition, do you know in an election here in this country, Miriam, when someone takes the president's, Miriam, others looks behind and feel that how can we be outside the government for 5 years? And there's chaos. And this, Miriam, we are addressing this one. We are even creating, Miriam, human beings make mistakes. We made a mistake, Miriam, to ensure that the leader for opposition is outside parliament. How do you oversight the government? We are trying to rectify this. Miriam, when the governor for Machakos was the government spokesman, he came with something to say that nachivunia kuwa Mkenya. And the Kenyan turned that one, Miriam, that nachihurumia kuwa Mkenya, Miriam. This BBI is addressing on national ethos, Miriam, to feel that we are Kenyans. This is our country. Does not belong to anybody else. If there is prosperity, Miriam, let us share all of us. Let us not have some people taking the money which belongs to the people of Kenya, Miriam. We are saying that, Miriam, that we must have shared responsibility, Miriam. And I know even some of our callers who are saying, Miriam, in the village these days, some of these MCAs are rich people. You will see some of the kind of things they have done, and that's the money which belongs to the people of respective counties, Miriam. And we are dealing with them on this, Miriam. Miriam, if 15% of money which is going to the counties, Miriam, some of the counties which have gotten the right, Miriam, and some of our viewers, let them just go to Machakos, to Makueni, and have a case study. Machakos and Makueni County, Miriam, they have what we call universal health care. You only contribute 500 per household. When you become sick, you are home and dry. You just walk to any of the level 4 hospitals and you are treated, Miriam. That is 15% doing that. What about if some of the people the 35% we are talking about, what is it going to do? So the people of Kenya should be vigilant, Miriam, to protect the money which is going to the ground. And they will be vigilant, Miriam, if we are going to fight corruption. We will have a wonderful document, but if we don't fight corruption, Miriam, we will cry year in, year out. Miriam, this document talks about respect for human rights and civil rights. If you don't respect the human rights of people so that people feel that they are human beings. When we talk about human rights, Miriam, we are saying let people go to the Bill of Rights and ask why are we not having clean water? Why are people destroying our environment? They must be able to be asking about asking the government, what are you doing in terms of climate change? Which is devastating people, Miriam, the floods which are coming here. What is the government cautioning for them? I should be hearing Kenyans talking about, Miriam, when it comes to human rights. What are some of the things which are in PBI? Miriam, yesterday we were talking about safety and security. That Kenyans are not freely, they cannot work freely because of insecurity. This document is talking about safety, and they are going to safety and security. We are reforming our police force. We are having National Police Service Commission, but Kenyans say that the minister should come in so that he has got hands on, so that we don't have this kind of independence. These Kenyans who have given their views, Miriam. And these are patriotic Kenyans. When history will come to be written, Miriam, some will say that Miriam stood against corruption in Kenya. Jared stood against corruption in Kenya. Daniel stood against corruption in Kenya. But I myself, I was saying that someone was having 5,000 hens and producing 50,000 eggs, and now is very generous. That is how history is going to record you. Miriam, for heaven's sake, I have gone through this document and I want to persuade our viewers. Go and read BBI. Let me not read for you. If you read and find any of the items which takes Kenya forward, support the document. If you read the proposals which have been given and find that it's not taking Kenya forward, go and vote no, but you will be a madman, a mad person, because this document is taking Kenya into another level. Miriam, who tells our viewers that we are the only generation who is going to make a constitution amendment which is going to be acceptable for ages, Miriam? We are not angels. Miriam, if you do an exam and you get 51%, you get 60%, it is not a must you score 100%. You score 90. Even 51, Miriam, you are above average, you have passed. So this document is above average. Kenyans, read for yourself. Stop propaganda and rise being peddled for these people who fear that the document is going to deal with them, having stolen from the people of Kenya. That's the only fear, and I wanted to bring that point very clear, Miriam. You know they cannot address corruption, but that is why they fear BBI. It's going to say that within 2 years, if it has been arranged that you have stolen money from the people of Kenya, if you are innocent, Miriam, you go back to your place of work. If we find you have stolen our money, we have given recommendation, Miriam. We will take you to jail and we will return our money, and others will have a lesson to learn.
Very well. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you for that. Daniel, we've come to the end of the show. Would you like to add anything else on top of what Professor has said?
Yeah, Miriam, it's upon the Kenyan people, as Professor said, not to let the politician read and be able to interpret the BBI report for them, because for the very first time, Kenya is having a similar document like what Singapore had when it was starting now to chart the post-independence journey, which led to a very flourishing economy and it becoming one of the greatest economies in the world and being referred to as one of the Asian tigers. So this is a journey which will ensure that Kenyans as a people enjoy shared prosperity. They take a step from the norm and bad habits that have always pervaded our discourse, that have always held us back in the dungeons of poverty and corruption and impunity, and be able to chart a new future which is described by unity of purpose and also fair redistribution of national resources, as well as leadership of integrity and inclusivity. So to me, I think we are starting a new page in the history of Kenya, and it's therefore very important that each and every one of us becomes part of it, and we can only become part of it if you understand whatever that is envisaged in the BBI report. So my parting shot will be just to maybe add a nice thing to what Professor has already said. Let Kenyans read the BBI report for themselves. It's a good document, and when time comes in the mid next year, let us all unanimously pass the BBI report.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much, Tankoi, Adam, Emmanuel. Who's that other person?
Next time, Miriam, bring him or ask him to join the banner so that you can be able to debunk
I
him.
actually like them a lot, Tankoi and Emmanuel. Next time,
yes, invite them to be on the show.
You can balance. All right, but thank you so much. And of course, our viewer here, another one, Bogo, and the rest of you who have taken their time to watch us this afternoon. We started at 11 a.m. there. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Daniel. And of course, thank you, Jevan Karanja. He had a bit of troubles there with his signal, as well as Douglas Kirimi, who was joining us from Meru. Thank you so much. My name is Miriam Ogutu. I shall see you later. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Miriam.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.